Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Cycle on Global Television. We're live in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Queen Agaba. No fewer than 10 states had begun the process of deploying forest guards to protect farmers and flush out bandits. At President Bola Tinubu's meeting with the governors last Friday, the federal government and state agreed to recruit forest rangers and invest in more training to keep the forests and the borders safe. The Minister of Information, Mohammed Idris, made this known while briefing State House correspondents after the National Economic Council meeting in Abuja. The National Economic Council will reconvene later this month as more state governments have submitted their reports expressing their support and the establishment of state police. The Kano State Hospital's Management Board has sacked 3 staff members of Gabor General Hospital and suspended 3 others for alleged extortion. The sacking and suspension of the affected staff were approved by the Executive Secretary of the board, Dr. Mansour Nagode, after an unscheduled visit to the facility. This is contained in a statement by the Public Relations Officer of the hospital's Management Board, Samira Suleiman. According to the statement, 3 officers of the X-ray unit were caught charging patients 12,000 naira for X-rays against the approved hospital price of 2,000 and no documents to show as evidence of payment, leaving the facility to carry out less than 10 X-rays per week, despite the fact that the 2 X-ray batteries are functional. The Executive Secretary of the board, however, approved the immediate dismissal of the 3 officers on grounds of extortion of patients. The 44-year-old opposition candidate Basiro Diomaye Faye has been sworn in as the 5th Senegalese president, as Senegal's youngest president after sweeping to a first-round victory and a pledge of radical reform 10 days after he was released from prison. Faye took over from immediate past President Macky Sall on Tuesday, April 2, 2024, in an event witnessed by African leaders in the new town of Diamaniado near the capital Dakar. Nigeria's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the chairman of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, Authority of Heads of State and Government, also were in attendance. Troops of the Nigerian Army in separate operations conducted in Zamfara and Katsina State killed no fewer than 11 terrorists. The terrorists were killed following a raid on terrorist kingpin enclaves in the state. In Zamfara, the hideout of a terrorist leader, Hassan Yantagwaye, in Safe local government area was raided, which resulted in a gun battle with 2 of his men killed in the operation. Weapons and military uniforms were recovered from the terrorists. The army says several terrorists fled with gunshot injuries during the gun draw that ensued during the operation, adding that during the raid in Sambisa Forest, its men killed 3 terrorists and destroyed their hideout in the forest. Meanwhile, the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ola Olukoyede, says the anti-graft agency under his leadership will continue to be broad-based, holistic, and unsparing of anyone linked with any form of economic and financial crimes. Olukoyede made this known in Abuja at the anti-corruption concert organized to create awareness and public involvement in the fight against internet crimes. He says the commission is not only focused on internet fraudsters, but also on every form of economic and financial crimes. The EFCC boss therefore cautioned youths against indulgence in internet-related offenses, pointing out that the consequences of being convicted for such crimes are grave. He further charged youths to embrace hard work and diligence, saying the path of success is the path of hard work and dignity. In another development, the Corps Marshal Federal Road Safety Corps, Dauda Biu, has directed the Kogi State Sector Commander of the Corps to commence a detailed investigation which will lead to the prosecution of drivers responsible for a crash in the state. The prosecution of the drivers will be carried out due to the recent collaboration between the Corps, the Nigerian Bar Association, and the state judiciary. This was contained in a statement signed by the FRSC spokesperson Jonas Agu. According to the statement, the crash that occurred on Sunday involved a total of 4 vehicles comprising 2 Dangote trucks, 1 Sharon bus and 1 motorbike. The impact of the crash resulted in a fire that killed the 12 passengers in the bus and the motorbike rider. The University of Ilorin has expelled and rusticated 19 students, including 6 final-year students of the institution, for their alleged involvement in various offences. The Director of Corporate Affairs of the institution, Kunle Akogun, in a statement, says the approval of expulsion, rustication of the affected students by the Vice-Chancellor, Wahab Egbewole, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, was sequel to the recommendations of the Students' Disciplinary Committee at its 220th and 221st meeting. He says that the affected students were penalized for offences ranging from misconduct, theft, examination malpractice, hostel bed space racketeering, and extortion, beating a fellow student, admission racketeering, and others. He added that penalties for the offences committed by the students included rustication for either 1 semester or 1 academic session, including outright expulsion. You're watching the news cycle coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. Don't forget, we're on Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG and other handles now showing on your screen. When midday news returns, Naira recovery now tackle inflation, says BDCs. This and other stories coming right after this break. Please stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. Now, if you've just joined us, this is Global Television, bringing you live broadcast of the news on the midday hour. On the foreign scene, Iran has promised a response after its consulate in the Syrian capital Damascus was destroyed in a suspected Israeli missile attack, killing 7 people, including the top commander and his deputy. Brigadier General Mohammed Reza Zahedi, a senior commander in the Quds Force of the Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps (IRGC), and his deputy, General Mohammed Hadi Hajriahimi, were killed in Monday's attack. Israel has long targeted Iran's military installations in Syria and those of its proxies, but Monday's attack was the first time it had targeted the embassy compound itself. Russia's FSB security service has said that 4 people arrested in a Ford terror plot had provided money and arms for the deadly attack on a Moscow concert hall last month. More than 140 people were killed when gunmen stormed the Crocus City Hall venue on March 22nd before setting the building on fire in the most fatal attack in Russia for 2 decades. The FSB said in a statement that it had arrested a group of 4 a day earlier in the southern Dagestan region who were directly involved in the financing and supply of terrorist means to perpetrators of the terrorist act carried out on 22nd March in the Crocus City Hall in Moscow. 3 children were injured in a shooting at an elementary school in Finland early on Tuesday, and a suspect, who was also a minor, was later apprehended. Finnish police say the victims were taken to the hospital. The shooting took place at the Vietola School in Vantaa, a suburb to the capital Helsinki, which has around 800 students from 1st to 9th grade and a staff of some 90 people, according to the local municipality. However, the Vietola School's principal, Sari Lasila, said in a statement declining to comment further on the incident. Let's take a look at business. There was palpable tension in some parts of Lagos on Monday as a number of fuel stations were shut over supply disruptions in Akonwonjo, Egbeda, Igondo axis. It was observed that many fuel outlets were shut. It was observed that mobile filling stations along the Kotun-Idumu Road and the Odo-Eran axis of the Shari-Igondo Road were dispensing fuel. It was also observed that the two mobile fuel stations had long queues along the Egbeda-Akonwojo axis. It was also observed that only an outlet belonging to the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited located on Akonjo Road was dispensing also, and a number of fuel stations along the Mowe-Bafo axis of Ogun State were not selling as of Monday morning. In continuation, to ensure safety of lives and property in the Niger Delta region, the gallant troops of the Joint Task Force South-South Operation Delta Safe, OPDS, comprising troops of Quick Response Force of Headquarters OPDS, Land, Marine, and Air components, rescued 9 kidnapping victims. The freed victims were said to be kidnapped on March 29, 2024, along Patani-Ugeli Road in Delta State. Rear Admiral John Okeke, commander of the Joint Military Force deployed to the Niger Delta, confirmed the development, saying 10 suspected kidnappers were arrested in the rescue of the victims, who included an NYSC member and a Navy rating. The Nigerian Railway Corporation generated 1.7 billion naira as revenue from passengers in Q4 of 2023. This is contained in the National Bureau of Statistics Rail Transportation data for Q4 2023 released in Abuja. The report showed that the figure decreased by 7.51% compared with the 1.15 billion naira generated in Q4 of 2022. Similarly, it showed that 423.22 million naira was collected in Q4 2023 as revenue from goods and cargoes. This increased by 169.16% from 157.23 million naira received in Q4 2022. The Association of Bureau de Change Operators of Nigeria says that the recovery of the naira has led to a relatively decrease in the prices of goods and services in the country. The president of the association, Aminu Gwadabe, said this in a statement. He hailed the decision of the Central Bank of Nigeria to allow Bureau de Change to operate in the foreign currency market, adding that it was a major factor in the recovery of the naira. It could be recalled that CBN banned the operations of BDCs in July 2001 as part of measures to stabilize the local currency. APCON had been championing the campaign for BDCs to be allowed to operate formally in the currency market. The Apex Bank in February reinstated BDCs in the official forex market. In the statement, the APCON president said aside from monetary policy tightening that led to interest rate hikes and more investment in government instruments and clearance of forex backlog forward commitments, the recall of the BDCs had significantly boosted dollar liquidity at the retail end of the forex market. On the entertainment scene, Nigerian music sensation Burna Boy has clinched the prestigious title of Best African Music Artist at the 2024 iHeart Radio Music Awards held in the United States. The highly anticipated event, broadcasted live on Monday night and hosted by rapper Ludacris, Burna Boy rise to the top of the African music category, marking a significant achievement in his career. Adding to the Nigerian triumph, Rema's track Countdown, featuring Selena Gomez, secured the title of Best Collaboration of the Year for the solidifying Nigeria's presence on the international music scene. With the wins at the iHeart Radio Music Awards, Burna Boy and Rema now stand alongside fellow Nigerian artists Wizkid and Tems as recipients of these esteemed accolades. Prior to his triumph at the iHeart Radio Music Awards, Burna Boy had faced disappointment at several award shows, including the BET Hip Hop Awards, Grammys, NAACP Image Awards, and Breeds Awards. However, his recent success marks a turning point in his awards trajectory, signaling a resurgence in recognition and acclaim on the global stage. In sports, Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp is determined to enjoy the closing stages of the Premier League title race for all its twists and turns in what will be his final season at Anfield. The Reds came back from conceding an early goal against Brighton to win 2-1 thanks to goals from Luis Diaz and Mohamed Salah, with Manchester City and Arsenal playing out a goalless draw. Liverpool are now 2 points clear at the top of the table with 9 matches left to play. Liverpool's running includes games against Manchester United, Tottenham and Aston Villa 6th, 5th and 4th respectively. South Africa's goalkeeper Kaylin Swart says Nigeria cannot keep their quest to feature at the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris. Desiree Ellis' side are in Abuja for the first leg of the final round qualifier. Banyana will host the reverse fixture in Pretoria next week Tuesday. Swart is however optimistic Banyana will beat the Super Falcons to the ticket playing against Nigeria is always a great battle, and they say they're familiar with each other only because they've had battles for many years up until now, and this is no different. And that's it on the news cycle, and it came to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times, channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG and other handles now showing on your screen. I'm Queen Agaba. Thank you for watching. See you again.